Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today, entitled Mom Demands My Handicap Parking Spot and Calls the Police. After that, Entitlement 35,000 Feet in the Air. And after that, Found the Rare Manager Karen through Uber Eats. Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen gets her BMW repossessed. So please smash that like button, and if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Entitled Mom Demands My Handicap Parking Spot and Calls the Police. This happened about a month ago. I have many stories dealing with handicap parking. Bit of background. I lost my leg when I was younger due to an accident, so I have had a handicapped parking permit since I started driving. I'm in my 30s now and quite heavily tattooed and often wear shorts when not freezing so pant leg doesn't get caught in the knee joint of prosthetic. I have some political and music/punk stickers on my car. The interaction went something like this. Cast. We've got me. We've got Entitled Mom. We've got Kid, the son of Entitled Mom, probably 8 or 9. And we've got the nice stranger. I pull into the last handicapped spot that was open at the grocery store parking lot. As I'm getting out, car stops behind me, and Entitled Mom gets out and storms over to me. You need to move. I need this spot. Me. I'm sorry? You need to move your car. I need this spot. My son just got done with basketball practice, and he's tired and worn out, so we need this spot by the entrance. Me. I'm sorry, but I've already parked, and I have a tag to park here. I'm not moving. Entitled Mom. All you liberal punks are the same. You only care about yourselves, probably using someone else's tag because you're lazy. Me. I'm not the lazy one here. If you open your eyes, you can see that I have a prosthetic leg. Now I'm going to do my shopping. I thought that would be the last of that, but 15 minutes later, I'm turning into an aisle and accidentally bump carts into Entitled Mom. Entitled Mom. How dare you! You did that on purpose. That's assault. I'm calling the police. Me. I'm sorry? I didn't see you. Plus, I promise you it wasn't on purpose. I had no idea you were there. Liar. Just like you are lying about being an amputee so you can steal parking spaces. Me. Can you not see the fact I have a prosthetic leg? It's fake. You probably have your leg bent up. Me. Yes, it is a fake leg. It's a prosthetic. I guarantee you it's missing. I try to move past to continue shopping. Entitled Mom. You are staying right here. You still assaulted me with your cart. You could have hurt my kid. Kid. Mom, let's just go. See, my son wants to go because he is hurt. Hope you are happy. Kid turns bright red. Mom, that's not true. Nice stranger. Is everything okay here? Entitled Mom. This punk assaulted me with his cart and is pretending to be disabled. Nice stranger. Pretending to be disabled? Can you not see his prosthetic leg? I've been in this aisle the whole time. It sure seemed like an accident. I think you should go on your way and stop harassing people. Entitled Mom pushes past me, almost making me lose my balance. But I say thanks to nice stranger and continued with my shopping and didn't have another run-in with Entitled Mom. Speaking of grocery shopping, where do you get your groceries at? And have you ever seen any Karens there? Please let me know. Entitlement 35,000 feet in the air. I bring you one of the most exhausting encounters I've ever had in my life. One that puts my patience to a test and made me consider quite seriously attempting to open a plane emergency door to take the plane down alongside my sanity. Intro. The year is 2017. I'm leaving my country for the first time on my own to attend a work-related convention in the USA. I don't handle flights well. Not a phobia thing, it's a physical thing. The change of altitude messes me up. Plus, I was nervous because it was my first time on my own going the furthest I'd ever gone outside my country. The flight, which was going to take off around 1 p.m., got delayed to 1 a.m. the next day. I was tired of going and returning from the airport and then going again. I just wanted to sleep. I put the headphones on and find that the plane has a great music collection. I pop Black Star, the last album by David Bowie, and let myself be lulled to sleep by the thin white Duke himself. The cast. We've got me, we've got Entitled Mom, and we've got her kid. The story. 3 a.m., 35,000 feet over South America. I managed to sleep, guided to the land of hypnosis by the liquid velvet voice of Ziggy Stardust when suddenly, somebody from the other side of the hallway, the plane had 2 columns of seats on each side of the hallway, shakes me awake. Entitled Mom. Excuse me? Me. Entitled Mom. Excuse me? I wake up, my eyes darting around the darkened cabin, attempting to focus on who was talking to me. Finally, I get my bearings and see Entitled Mom, a woman around 40 to 50 years old, extremely thin, to the point of looking unhealthy, with a twisted bird's nest of auburn hair atop her head. She had poked me with her long fake green nails and was wearing a somewhat flimsy floral dress that clearly was at least a couple of sizes too big for her. She had orange skin, surely from getting her tan out of a can rather than the sun, and had big 50s style sunglasses, the ones with the colored oval frame. Entitled Mom. Sorry, I didn't want to wake you up, but I need help. Me. Wait, what? I need help. I can't figure out the screen. She pointed at the screen in front of her, the same one I used to get my dose of Major Tom. I was a bit confused and a little bit bothered by her actions, but I was raised to be helpful, or attempt to be helpful, so I tried to help her, whispering to avoid waking up other passengers. Me. What's the problem? I don't know a lot about how this works, but I'll try to help. Entitled Mom. Perfect. Just tell me how to put on a movie for my baby. I start explaining. At least I attempt to guide her as much as I can while wondering where's her kid. Maybe went to the bathroom because the seat beside her was empty, or that's what I could perceive through my drowsy eyes. I finally managed to get the movie she wanted to watch, Dr. Dolittle, the Eddie Murphy one, and attempt to sleep again. She didn't even thank me. I turn around and ball up attempting to sleep again. I don't know how much time passes before she wakes me up again. Excuse me? Her emerald claws poke my back once again. Excuse me? What? I turn around, now a bit upset. She now has a blanket over her shoulders surrounding her body. Entitled Mom. My baby wants to see another movie. He is very nervous. It's his first flight. Me. I'll help, but you should talk to the flight attendant. I was trying to sleep. Sorry, it would be the last time, and I didn't want to bother her. She seemed to be sleeping when I went to the toilet. Once again, I gather my patience and attempt to help, but I realize something. There is no kid. Once again, the chair was empty. I realized she had the blanket the last time, and soon I realize who she was talking about. Her kid starts barking. I stop in my tracks and see the head of a chihuahua popping out of her blanket. Yes, people, she was talking about her dog, as this airline allowed small animals into the cabin. I stop in my tracks and I look at her. I look at her in silence for a long time. She looks at me, not understanding what's happening, and then tracks my eyes that are locked on her dog. She smirks and chuckles, trying to pass it off as something fun. I don't even say anything. She sees my eyes and realizes the gig is up. I silently turn around, trying to sleep again, putting good old Jareth on blast to avoid any further interruptions from the entitled mother and her kid. Speaking of dogs, do you have a dog? If so, what kind? Please let me know. Found the rare manager Karen through Uber Eats. I had an incident in my rookie days last year as a food delivery guy for Uber Eats, where the instructions for pickup said, use the drive-thru or walk in for food. So I went to the drive-thru and I encountered something I never knew was real. A Karen that is the manager, and gave me an unnecessarily large amount of crap for daring to clog up her McDonald's drive-thru line instead of walking in. It devolved into that kind of conflict where the person has some parts in the wrong, but must get the final jab at you to be in the right in their la-la land in their head. Manager Karen. Why are you here? Me. I'm here to pick up an order. Like I said to the I mean, why didn't you walk in? Shows her the phone with the McDonald's instructions zoomed in, trying to be calm and polite through my anxiety, but she looks mad. Sorry, this is my first time here. The app for pickup instructions says drive-thru is allowed. Well, not at my store it isn't. I don't care if this is your 100th delivery. I have customers you're blocking and wasting time. You're getting writ up on the app for this. From how she's acting, probably an empty threat, because she'd have no patience to figure out how. Also can confirm I never got a negative review there. Me. Keep showing the app and pointing to drive-thru or walk in. Miss? I'm just following what my app says. All you have to do is go online and change the instructions for your store. I think this is the default. Karen. Yeah? Crossed arms. You know how busy I am. I'll do it if I see fit, but don't you dare come to the window next time. Me. I won't. I told you this is my first time here and just following the instructions like they tell me to. You better not. Can I just have the food now? Fine. She practically tosses the bag and cup at me and slams the window. Window clerk gives that "try working here" apologetic look. Entitled mother owned an online store. A brief backstory. I own a company that specializes in various wedding services, and last year I decided to add gift boxes to the list of services we offer. You know, those ones that brides and grooms sometimes give their bridal parties the morning right before the ceremony? However, I didn't really want to do them myself, and therefore set out to find an affordable supplier that could put the boxes together and sell them through my company. Sound simple? Continue reading. So I came across a website that offered this service. Their products were slightly cheaper than many other suppliers, yet not so cheap that it looked suspicious. The turnaround time for their products on the website said 5 to 10 working days, which seemed fine to me. I wanted to see the quality of their products first, so I placed an order which included one of just about everything they were selling. As far as they knew, I was a groom buying things for my wedding. I got the invoice straight away, paid it, got an email back from the owner stating that my payment had been received and she'll let me know once my order has been dispatched. So far, so good. Now, I'll admit this was something I wanted to do, but it wasn't a massive priority in my life. Therefore, I didn't even notice when she missed the 10 working days cutoff time, nor did I notice when 20 working days had passed. I mean, every now and then I'd remember, tell myself to follow up, and then forget about it again. It was after more than a month had passed that I eventually remembered to follow up with her and was super polite, literally just asking if she perhaps had an update to when the order would be dispatched. It took her about 3 days to respond, asking if I could please forward her the proof of payment again. I did so. She took another day, replied that she vaguely remembers me, but asked that I please send the invoice again as she couldn't remember what I had ordered. I did so. Upon receiving the invoice, she said that the waiting period is 5 to 10 working days. When I pointed out that it was already more than 30, she said it wasn't her fault that she couldn't find my order. At this point, it felt almost pointless even arguing with her, as it was obvious I definitely would not be using her as my new supplier, but I had spent quite a bit of money on this, so I still wanted my product. Another 10 working days passed and no updates. I followed up again. This time she responded, saying that she had unfairly been forced to pay taxes and therefore didn't have money to order from her suppliers. I told her that was tough, but not really my problem. Cut to her switching over from emails to WhatsApp and the rest of her correspondence being mostly voice notes. Cue voice note number 1, where she yells at me and says that she's never dealt with anyone as impatient in her life, and she feels so sorry for my fiance. With weekends included, I had been waiting about 50 days, and the "that's not really my problem" was the only time I had been even slightly rude. I messaged her that that was a slight overreaction. She voice noted back, paraphrased slightly as I no longer have the voice notes, but pretty close. "You have no idea what I've been through lately. My child has been in the hospital, and you think you're more important than he is? I can't believe people like you exist. You make me sick." I was slightly taken aback by this. Now, I should mention, I had placed this order so long ago that I had actually forgotten what her business was called, and now I was quite curious to go look it up on Facebook. I asked her for a link to her Facebook page. She replied with another voice note. "That is so typical. Well, I have a business, and you have a business, yet you think I didn't Facebook stalk you? So if you write one word about me on Facebook, I will destroy you and your business. My lawyer is going to take you for everything you own." I actually started laughing at that one, sending a voice note back and asking her to please tell me what she thought she could possibly sue me for. She voice noted again. "I am a single mother and I'm sick. I've been in the hospital and I don't have to take this from you. So go review me on Facebook. Forget you. Forget you." I said I would if she wanted me to, but I still couldn't remember the name of her business. She replied again. "I'm not going to tell you the name of my business so you can slander me. You're sick in the head." I shrugged, went into my email, and quickly looked up the name of her business. I found her Facebook page quite easily. The reviews were actually quite good up until about a month before, where the general theme was basically that she wasn't delivering and screaming and cursing at clients. I thought about adding one, but it really wasn't my style. I messaged her again, telling her that I found her page, but if she'd please just either refund me or complete the order, then there would be no reason for me to write about this. She replied, calmly this time, that she appreciates my patience and she'll have the order ready for me to come collect in a week. I pointed out that I had paid extra for shipping, so I shouldn't have to come collect it, and she replied with that thumbs up emoticon that I detest so very much. So another week goes by, and again, nothing. I left it for another 4 days and then messaged her. She replied saying that the order is complete, but all the couriers are on strike, so she can't send it. This was a complete fabrication, as I work with couriers constantly, and definitely would have known if there was a nationwide courier strike. However, I wanted to get this over with, so I replied and told her that I'll just come collect it myself then. She replied asking when. I said I could come the next day. She replied saying that was impossible as her father had passed the night before and they were in mourning. I hate it when people do that because yes, it's obviously a lie, but on that 1% chance that it isn't. I replied I'm sorry for her loss and I'll contact her again on Monday. Monday comes, I contact her again and ask when I can come collect. She says Wednesday. I say cool. Wednesday morning I message her and ask what time, and she replies that today isn't convenient. I reply back that this isn't going to take time. I will drive up to her gate, she can hand me this package and I'll be on my way. She replied, voice note again, no offense, but after the way you have treated me, I don't feel safe being alone when you come, and I need my husband to be here. I laughed again, replying that I thought she said she was a single mother. Cue her phoning me and screaming at me. I actually don't recall what she said, but somewhere in between it was decided that I could come the next day. The next day I message her to ask a time. She says she won't be available, but she'll personally be bringing the order to me the next day. I reply, sure, whatever. The next morning I message her what time I can expect her. She says she has to collect her kids from school at 1 p.m., so she'll come after that. I point out that I very strongly suggest she comes before that because the afternoon traffic on the highway is going to be insane on a Friday. She replies that she doesn't mind the traffic and her customers always come first. At 12:30, she messages me that she's on her way to collect her kids and she'll come straight after. I was truly shocked, thinking that this was finally almost over. Cut forward to 4 p.m. and nothing. I message her to ask her how far she is. She replies that the afternoon traffic was too much and I was being unreasonable, expecting her to come deliver it in traffic like that. I replied, fine, so when are you going to deliver it? She replied that she'll come the next day. I replied that I wouldn't be home, but gave her my then girlfriend's number and told her to simply call her when she's on her way. I came home the next evening, and of course she hadn't come. I messaged her the Monday asking what had happened. She replied that they had guests all weekend and she didn't have the time. Hearing this, I told her that I really did not want her product anymore and that I would really appreciate a refund. Cue another voice note, paraphrased again. Forget you, you grunt. I have gone out of my way for you, and now you want a refund? No, no, no! You will not get a refund. Forget you. My child was in the hospital all weekend, and I don't have time to deal with your garbage above that. Forget you! I hope your business goes bankrupt, you grunt. At this point, I was done dealing with her and said, fine, you win. Keep the money and go well. She replied that she's not a criminal and she's bringing my stuff through right now because how dare I treat her like she's a criminal and she always puts her clients first. I replied that I really didn't want it anymore and she could save herself the trip. She replied that she's on her way and I blocked her. About a month later, I was entering my security complex when the security guard said he had received a delivery for me. I wasn't expecting anything, so had no idea what it was. Imagine my surprise when I saw that she had actually come to deliver the product, even though half the groom items said bride and half the bride items said groom. The next day, I got an email from her asking me to please review her business. I didn't, but her website and Facebook page have since been removed. I hope she's not doing business under a new name because I feel for anyone that has to deal with her. I really don't work for the court. I used to work for a large county, a busy one with almost 25,000 civil service employees and over 70 departments, all in various offices spread out across the 12 plus different large buildings. I was just one of many office minions, I did my job, mostly budgets for one small office. It was years before I had a clue about what all those other offices did. However, occasionally I would run into people who assumed that the county badge I wore meant I'd automatically know the details of whatever specific department they needed support from. The setting. On this occasion, I had to park in the very back of the massive employee parking lot shared by two major county buildings. One building was the courthouse and its offices. The other was a large structure with a few dozen different county offices. I didn't work at either office. I was just headed to the large structure for finance training. I was still very new to the job, so I was a little more dressed up than most people. Slacks and nice shoes, trying to make a good impression everywhere. It was a busy area, lots of people coming and going. So when I saw the scruffy-looking guy on a sidewalk at the edge of the parking lot, I didn't think much of it. He looked slightly better than the homeless guys that wander nearby, so I assumed he was just someone else moving through the day. Until I had this conversation. The cast. We've got me. We've got scruffy-looking guy. We've got various onlookers who just made it more awkward. The conversation. I parked and opened my door, but sat in the car for a few seconds, making sure I had everything I needed. Scruffy-looking guy. Hey. I didn't respond. I didn't know he was talking to me. Hey. Hello. At this point, I was getting out of my car and realized he was talking to me. I started to think he might be one of the homeless folks after all. I figured he'd ask for money next. I picked up my cup of caffeine and pulled my laptop bag out of my car. Hey. Scruffy guy started to walk towards me. Oh, hey. Hey, you work for the court? I shook my head while shouldering my bag. No, I don't. Sorry. I gave him a nod goodbye before I turned my back and walked away quickly, heading toward the county buildings. I had to get to the training on time. I was only a little startled when Scruffy guy caught up with me and walked beside me, keeping pace. People looking for public services in the wrong place is very common. I often had to point people in the right direction. Scruffy guy. It's okay. I just need to tell him something. I put on my helpful customer service voice and pointed towards the courthouse building. Sorry, I don't work there. You should talk with someone from the court. There's an info desk inside. Oh, come on. You work there. I was still hurrying through the parking lot, with Scruffy guy still keeping up. I really don't. I just need him to change up my lawyer. I keep walking, but I stared at him in surprise for a few seconds. At this point, I was wondering what he did to need a court-appointed lawyer. I wondered if he was out on bail, and I really wondered who the heck approaches someone in a parking lot to request a change of attorney. No, he's an okay guy. He's just not doing things right. I need a new one. I kept walking, trying not to let the surprise and rising concern show on my face. Still baffled he's talking to some random person in the parking lot about this. Still wondering what he did to need a court-appointed attorney. Me. I'm so sorry. Really, I don't... Scruffy guy continued to follow me. Come on, just help me out. It's your job. Me. Now past the parking lot and trapped at a crossing light. The other people at the light were pretending not to listen in, but I saw people pause and scrolling on their phones to furtively watch Scruffy guy and I. I really don't deal with that. You need to talk with the info desk at the courthouse. I'm talking with you. Can't you tell him? No, I don't work for the court. I don't know how you... Stop. Just stop. Don't try that. You got a badge. That doesn't mean I work for the court. Anyone who works for the county has a badge. I gestured towards the people around us, waiting at the crossing light, most with badges. They all looked away and suddenly became very busy with their phones again. Scruffy guy walked with me across the crosswalk and followed as I continued to the building. Scruffy guy. Stop playing. You work for the court. Holding all that paperwork, dressed up and everything. Bet you're a lawyer. Me. I'm not. You are, aren't you? No. You could be my new lawyer. I finally stopped on the sidewalk, leading to the doors of the building, raising my voice, getting startled looks from various people passing by. Me. I work in budgets, not for the court. Not everyone with a badge works for the court. Huh? But you do work for the county. Yes. So you know people at the court. I sighed, but managed to pull most of the customer service voice back into place. I'm sorry, I don't. I really don't work with the courts at all, and I never have. I have zero information on how to get a new attorney. You should really go over there and talk to someone. That's what I would do. Scruffy guy stared at me, apparently finally comprehending. Huh? I started walking away again, pointing to the courthouse entrance we just passed. Just go through there to the info desk. Scruffy guy standing still, calling after me. Okay. I walked away again, almost to the doors. I called back over my shoulder. "Take care." Scruffy guy, now yelling after me. "Hey, well, can I get your number then?" More people were giving us strange looks at this point. I just looked back at him, then just shook my head in total disbelief and kept walking. "Hey, I didn't hurt anybody. I'm a good guy." Several people started slowing down to watch, my fellow office minions hoping for a little drama. I shook my head again, opened the door to the building, and hurried inside without responding. Scruffy guy shouting from outside the door as it shut behind me. "Well, forget you then, uppity jerk." Security came to the door when they heard him yelling and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. Security stepped outside and Scruffy guy hurried away, but not towards the courthouse. My finance training was as boring as it sounds. I never saw the guy again. And shoutouts to our Regenerals of the day. Bart Ride, Lori, and Dragon. Become tomorrow's Regenerals by leaving as many reads as you can in the comments below, and please listen to my playlist every night when you go to sleep.